Welcome to Garage Gym Athlete Ask Me Anything. It's pretty simple. I'll be answering questions from the thousands of athletes that follow our daily programming. If you have a question or topic you want submitted, go to garagegymathlete.com/AMA. Let's get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jerred Moon here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. Doing an Ask Me Anything today. And if you've been following along on YouTube, we're trying to upgrade our video each and every single time. So you guys let us know how we're doing as we progress each week and figure more stuff out amidst the pandemic on a weekly basis.
I'm going to change my background every week.
Yeah. You actually might be in a different location every week, which is insane.
Also in full hat protocol right now because you can't get haircuts. At least that's me.
That's why I wear a hat 95% of the time is because my hair's all jacked up. And anyway, that makes me sound lazy. But let's get to the questions. So we have Arlen asked, coming back from time away for different sports seasons, hockey or lacrosse or injury, how to get restarted without too much too soon. So I'll leave the question on the screen for a minute. Joe, man, you want to tackle this one first? So you're coming back from injury. Like, how hard do you push it, and what's the limitations there? So what are your thoughts on it?
First, you can just get out and start moving, like especially for sports and stuff like that. So I had my last year, I partially tore my hamstring, and then took like 6 to 8 weeks off to rehab it, and then I got back into playing lacrosse. But I kind of played it not quite half effort, but I didn't play as full as I would before. I got a really good warm-ups in. I didn't start, so to speak, and I just kind of tried to take it as I could, and I didn't push it as hard as I could. So I think just getting moving and like leading up to even getting back on the field, I was running for a couple of weeks beforehand. So I was still doing just regular, longer conditioning or cardio, nothing too fast, nothing sprinting, nothing max effort. Anything crazy like that, but just going out and getting some runs in and just seeing how things felt, and then getting some stability in as well, depending on what your injury is for what you need to do. So just work on, baby steps, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and I know we've discussed this a little bit in the podcast before. I think with injuries, you definitely have to drop the ego like 1,000% and make sure that you're not coming back too soon or you're not pushing it too hard. If you have been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that I had a knee problem last year. I think most people with the same knee issue that I had would not have gone to physical therapy. Like, it wasn't that bad, but I went to physical therapy anyway because I was doing the Murph project. I didn't want to end up like injured, chronically injured. So I went and listened to all the recommendations from a physical therapist and kind of got on a protocol. But that's kind of the view that I think people should take, is this very long-term approach to, I want to be able to do this stuff in 20, 30, 40 years, in all honesty. Like, I always want to be able to do fitness. So anything that's going to slow me down is not okay. And so that's why I am very cautious if I feel like I'm getting injured, or if I am injured, to not do anything too much. And so let me throw another thing on the screen here, might help illustrate this a little bit more. So this is kind of our breakdown. The full link this is kind of our article about concurrent training, how we see it. This is not how you have to do concurrent training. This is how we specifically program it. And there are three kind of levels to our programming. So actual activities, what should you do? And that very bottom, bright red there says control plus oxidative work. So oxidative work is just aerobic conditioning. Like Joe mentioned, getting the blood moving. That's really important in any sort of recovery. Like, getting the blood moving is very important. So make sure that you're still moving, even if you're injured. If that's walking, or if you do have a physical therapist, ask them which activities you can do. So just make sure the blood is moving on a daily basis. And then control is control type movements, like hypertrophy based, slow and controlled. Joe mentioned stability, things like that. You can work on mobility, but we're not getting any max efforts. We're not lifting things for speed. We're not going fast. All we're doing is control type movements. So very controlled muscle contractions and aerobic conditioning would be where I would start. And then I would re-progress through these things. Now, when we're programming this out, we see this pyramid as, what someone should do to build up their fitness, but it's the same for injury. Like if you're coming back from injury, you need to start back from the bottom and then work your way up. You have anything to say on that, Joe?
Not for working back from injury.
Yeah, I mean, just or about the pyramid or how you think people should tackle it.
No, not from working back from injury or going in that order. I think that's good.
All right, cool. Well, then I think that's it. Do you have anything else at all?
Yeah. So I mean, this is more sports specific, but if for non-injury stuff, if you just took a hiatus from training in general, whether life got crazy or something, but not injury related at all, it's still good to follow this protocol. But I think you can have a little bit more leniency into going testing the higher parts of the pyramid, and even like for sports wise, do some lateral running, do some extra stability, do little short bursts here and there, but don't overdo it at first, because a lot of things especially with sports, if you're going out for regular runs, that's just one thing, but running sideways and backwards, your muscles are going to be shot, and they're not going to be used to it. So like I know a lot of times if I take a long time off of any sort of sport, then my groin and my adductors get really, really sore because you just don't work them. So that's another thing to work in, just a little bit of different.
Yeah, and to put what I'm talking about into sports terms is, so if we say control, like if there's like lacrosse, I don't play lacrosse, you do, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a twisting motion in lacrosse, right? And if you had a lower back problem and when you twisted that hurt, then I would work on something that twists my body in a controlled nature for whatever it is. If it's really light,
Russian twists.
Yeah, Russian twists or barbell side bends or whatever, like anything that's going to kind of get that motion just at a very light level. And then you could start adding speed to it. But I wouldn't be like, take 2 weeks off and then go do my hardest lacrosse swing because I took 2 weeks off. I feel like I should probably be good to go, because it could be one dynamic movement like that causes it to like get re-injured. So yeah, putting that specifically into sports terms, that's what I would do, is like work through these like slowly, just making sure that you can do all these movements without feeling weird or, any additional pain.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys, that's it for this Ask Me Anything. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel for when we have new stuff come out. Give us a thumbs up, leave comments, let us know what you think about these videos. And if you're listening on the podcast, 5-star review and a positive comment is always welcome. And guys, if you want to ask a question, we have a lot, but we're pounding through them. GarageGymAthlete.com/AMA. We will dive into things and get your questions answered. I appreciate you watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed today's Ask Me Anything episode. So one more time, if you want to submit a question, topic, or idea, you can do so at GarageGymAthlete.com/AMA. And hey, while you're there, if you haven't already, sign up for Garage Gym Athlete membership. We are the best community and programming on the internet. I dare you to try and prove me wrong.